Tonight on Secondhand Stories.
This is a beer bell.
His passion in life was going to garage sales, flea markets, you name it.
Hey, John, did you spot these in the bunch?
We have treasures that people didn't want to lose.
I'm looking at all these stacks and stacks of tapes, and I pick one up, and it says, Johnny Cash.
When he came on stage, it was just pandemonium.
Secondhand Stories is made possible by contributions to your PBS stations from viewers like you. Thank you. It's July 1st. My name is Christopher Wilcha, and I'm driving a 1977 Chevy ambulance at approximately 50 miles per hour. My traveling companion is my good friend John Freyer. John and I are thrifting our way across the country, stopping and shopping at every secondhand outlet we can find. From thrift stores and garage sales to military auctions and university surplus centers. We're secondhand tourists, attempting to buy and resell our way across the country. This is turning out to be incredibly hard to do, but not for the reasons we expected. Let me explain. It all started when John and I bought this ambulance on eBay. This will be the first of many secondhand purchases to come. The previous owner, Brad, delivered it to my parents' driveway in the suburbs of New Jersey.
You mind if we take a little ride?
We quickly learned why it's not such a good idea to buy a car before test driving it.
There's no rear brakes in it right now because it's leaking. But 70% of your braking power is in your front wheels, so it does stop.
John and I got the ambulance so we can explore the places and meet the people who buy and sell secondhand objects. We have very little money, so we plan on financing the trip by selling what we buy out of the back of the ambulance. Even the show itself was made with secondhand artifacts. Some of what you'll be seeing was shot with cameras we've salvaged along the way. And the entire soundtrack is comprised of music we're collecting while on the road. John and I are searching for the stories behind pre-owned stuff. Why does someone get rid of something they've held onto for a lifetime? Why does someone else want to buy it? How do the things that surround us reflect who we are? We're hitting the road to find out. We did some research before we hit the road and found out that the secondhand universe is much bigger than we expected. Driving on a major interstate is the most impersonal form of travel. It feels like you're anywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Secondhand scavenging, however, forces us off the interstate into the driveways, attics, living rooms, and basements of people we've never met before.
This is a beer bell, okay? When your son goes away to college, you give him this. And then when he drinks, he's exercising at the same moment.
Garage sales are some of the most intimate secondhand consuming you can do. You're face-to-face with objects and their owners.
Hey, John, did you spot these in the bunch?
Yikes.
How much did you want for those?
$5.
Is there a story behind these that you want to tell? Or?
Actually, those aren't mine. I'm not guilty.
Garage sales are true treasure hunts. What we're mostly on the lookout for are rare or unique items we didn't even know we wanted, but now can't live without. At a garage sale, we met George Skinner, who invested $250,000 in this ill-conceived invention that never made it out of the prototype phase.
That's called a wobble light. It was designed for construction on highways. If a truck came by real fast, it'd knock it over, come right back up. They tried to sell it. They got a patent on it, tried to sell it. It didn't do anything. It finally flopped. And this is what they gave me for my $250,000.
I mean, it does. It just comes right back up. Does it?
It's on the hill right now. Well, it'll come back. It's on.
But in general, it comes back up.
In general, it comes back up.
So you were convinced that it was a pretty
good idea.
Good idea.
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
How much is it?
$50.
Do we want to buy it? Do we want to buy it?
We're thinking about it.
All right.
That'd be a heck of a conversation piece.
We're gonna pay you $50 for it if you sign it.
Sign it.
No sentimental value.
No sentimental value. Every time I look, I think about losing $250,000.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate it.
I'm Rick Morosini.
And I'm Joan Elliott.
And we'll be going over some scary, fun guitar work.
The most obvious way to appreciate secondhand shopping is as a bargain hunter. Only at a thrift store can you find a Zenith television set, 2 Stan Smith Signature Series tennis rackets, and a dual cassette answering machine, all for $10. But thrifting also offers a chance to think about the people who create the things we buy. Consider the cast-off board games that line thrift store shelves. For instance, who designed and created this game? Sid Saxon is not a household name, but the games he invented are stacked in the closets and basements of households across the country. Sid was very prolific, creating over 500 games during his 40-year career. As a result, his board games offer an informal history of what we considered fun. Many of Sid's games focused on business themes, and somehow he managed to make global finance and stock market crashes downright entertaining. It's hard to imagine getting the family together for a friendly game of executive decision. Yet untold numbers of American kids played these games throughout the 60s and 70s. Does the popularity of Sid's games reveal us to be cutthroat capitalists? Or are his games just good, clean American fiscal fun? We scored this copy of Executive Decision at a thrift store for just $2. We're on our way to an estate sale we saw advertised in the local paper. Estate sales offer a sometimes uncomfortable mix of commerce and mortality. The inventory at these sales reveals a lifetime of accumulation, but with a bleak subtext.
Well, the house and the contents belonged to a second cousin. His name was Paul Philly. Unfortunately, he passed away on the July 4th, and I'm the executor of his estate. Paul never married, and his passion in life was going to garage sales, flea markets, camera shows, you name it. It's sort of endless what he all had. One of the other relatives had said, Paul really didn't have much of a life, and it might not have been the life that I would have chosen or someone else would choose, but it was a life, and it seemed to work for him.
A full day of driving brings us to our next destination, the Unclaimed Baggage Center. The merchandise in this store is the contents of your lost luggage. The center buys unclaimed luggage from all the major airlines and sells everything therein. Even the piece of luggage itself is for sale.
The Unclaimed Baggage Center is quite different from your local ordinary thrift store. And the reason for that is that thrift stores are places where people get rid of their things that they don't want. But for us, we have treasures that people didn't want to lose.
The Unclaimed Baggage Center is like a lost and found, but with price tags. The merchandise here provides a snapshot of what Americans are buying, wearing, and even thinking right now.
People who are here understand that it's unclaimed baggage, that it's unfortunate that it was lost. But for us, we look at it as we're being able to offer to our customers, our million shoppers that come through, bargains.
Our next stop is Sharpless Auctions in Iowa City, where we arrive just in time for the first bids of the day.
72.5 now 5, 75 and 77.5 now 80 now 4.5. 82.5 now 85 and 87.5 and 90 now 4.5. 92.5 now 5. 95 now 20. 92.5 now 5 now 95. Sold out 92.5 number 380 right there.
The auction is attended by a wide variety of people, from families and farmers to antique dealers and eBay opportunists. Going to auctions is one of John's favorite social activities. More than just a place to buy and sell things, the auction is a community event where the auctioneering is the entertainment.
Sharpless Auctions is a weekly consignment auction. Every week we sell anything you'd find in the household. Furniture, pots and pans, collectibles, glassware, kitchenware, your yard tools, anything you'd find in the lawn and garden lineup too. I mean, it's just anything from soup to nuts, basically.
This skateboard John purchased at the auction was manufactured by the Makaha company. When Makaha designed the first professional skateboards in 1963, they synthesized two post-war phenomena, surfing and suburban sprawl.
All you need for a good day of slalom riding is a dead-end street and a friendly neighbor with a driveway.
In 1969, Richard Stevenson, Makaha's founder, was awarded the patent for the kicktail. This small design innovation revolutionized skating, allowing boarders to invent their own exclusive vocabulary of tricks. Without the introduction of Stevenson's kicktail, the skateboard may have gone the way of the wobble light. Instead, a billion-dollar industry was born that has influenced everything from music and sports to fashion and graphic design. John paid 50 cents for this skateboard. We checked on eBay, and the same board is selling online for $150. A terrorism task force alert was issued today. It warned that two men were attempting to buy a second-hand ambulance to use as a bomb-laden terror weapon.
2 weeks ago, two Middle Eastern-looking men wanted to buy a fake ambulance. The incident triggered a series of alerts that terrorists might want to use city vehicles for bombings.
Unbeknownst to us, we fit the profile perfectly. The situation was tense, but one look in the back of our junk-filled ambulance and the Mississippi police realized we were harmless.
So is everything okay? We're okay.
License,
okay.
Registration, proof of insurance.
Okay, great.
Like I said, just keep the blue light covered up.
We will for sure. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you.
But over the next few days, we had to tell the same story in Arkansas and again in Texas.
Well, just enjoy your trip.
All right, we'll try.
All right. If you get stopped, just keep a smile on your face.
That's what we're doing.
We got a Smokey on the move with the hammer down and the candles lit. Better back it down.
Your fellow CBers will pass along all kinds of information. including smoky reports.
Now 75 or 85 or I-20 the other way. Turn your squares to the right, and in the night you'll hear some good buddies say, breaker, breaker, got a picture taker, old smokers at 43. It's that Japanese toy, that trucker's joy that everybody calls CB. Yeah, Citizens Band. Keeps you up to date with the fender benders and the T1.
2 days later, we made it to Joe's Record Paradise in Baltimore. Joe's store is a legendary destination for secondhand vinyl. Buying music at a place like Joe's is the exact opposite of shopping at a vast megastore. Instead of alphabetized aisles of CDs, there's congested rows of obsessively specialized vinyl LPs, and it's amazing what this clutter has to offer.
The sexual IQ test asks you everything you always wanted to know about sex, but were afraid to ask.
Many of these releases survive only on these LPs. As far as I know, shock music and How to Realize Your Ambitions in the Amazing Automotive Industry won't be reissued on CD anytime soon.
The purpose of this record is to tell you how to join the small group of people who are the happiest and most successful people on earth.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
This record goes on like that for another 30 minutes.
Good morning.
I often find myself buying these records for the design of the covers alone. Sifting through this incredible archive, we were curious how Joe, the proprietor of the store, acquires his inventory.
We buy a lot of record collections, a lot. You get calls from all over the place. My son and I will just jump in a car and we'll drive over to Virginia, maybe Pennsylvania, and I buy these collections as many as 25, 30,000, and as few as 2 or 3.
How you doing? You're Mr. Evans? How long you been out here?
During our visit, Joe got a call about a collection that was for sale. Robert Evans is a retired bus driver who's been collecting records his entire life.
One thing I got to do is kind of check the condition on some of these things. Uh-oh. Now this one, I never heard this one, because I always figured I didn't want to hear him doing show tunes.
He did a pretty good job with it.
Now, I bought this as a kid, and I could tell they recorded this thing in a recording studio, and they dubbed in all the applause and the crowd noise. This is not a live album here.
And when you got over 700 albums, it takes up quite a bit of space. And I'm just getting tired of moving them. I just hate to get rid of them, but I have no other choice. As I grew up with vinyl, it's like giving up a family member or, a friend.
It's hard for me to turn down a collection like that, and I was thinking in terms of $350.
Give me $400, we got a deal.
I'll do that.
At this point, Joe's real motivation for inviting us along became clear. We were the moving crew.
There goes my record.
My record. He's a strong man. He ain't crying. All right, we'll see y'all. Good talking to you, too.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye now. The big dream for a guy with a record store like mine is that you find some guy who wants to sell you all these great out-of-print albums, at a reasonable, cheap price. Well, I actually did one better on that. I found the king of clutter, Leon Kagerice.
You got a whole gang here. Hello, guys.
Leon Kagerice is an avid record collector and secondhand scavenger. Joe met Leon when he went to appraise his record collection a couple of years ago.
I noticed all these boxes of reel-to-reel tapes, and I picked one up and it says, Johnny Cash, live in Maryland, 1962. And I said, Mr. Kagerice, what is this?
It was my passion to record the country music. I used to go up to a place called New River Ranch, and for a couple of years I just went there and enjoyed the music very, very much. And then I got to thinking, well, I got a tape recorder at home. Why don't I bring my tape recorder?
Leon not only captured live performances on tape, he also took candid photos of many now legendary country music stars.
I'm looking at all these tapes, and I'm thinking, good God Almighty. Here's a guy who's got, all these recordings that have never seen the light of day.
He says, you know that's worth a lot of money, don't you? I says, no, I don't know that. And he says, do you have any more? I says, I got stacks of them, Joe. Platinum Scruggs, Jimmy Martin, Skeeter Davis, George Jones, of course, Johnny Cash. The audience loved Johnny Cash. When he came on stage, it just went wild. It was just pandemonium.
And I still miss someone.
Joe is helping Leon find a record company that will release his extraordinary collection of rare live recordings and unseen photos.
I found out that it was of great interest. And when the Library of Congress came to my house and heard a lot of stuff I have and said, we don't have any of this, that sort of woke me up that I got something pretty good here. That's what Joe says, well, all your junk has finally been justified. So I'm glad for that. I appreciate that.
There's someone for me somewhere, and I still miss someone. If you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest part of me.
John and I have been accumulating a tape collection of our own. At thrift stores and garage sales, we've been buying answering machines that have incoming and outgoing message tapes intact.
Hi guys, it's Lou, and I'm not going to be able to be at church tonight. I've got a flu bug or something.
Well, that Y2K didn't mess us up.
No, I didn't expect it to.
I know it, and I wasn't worried about it.
I didn't either.
David, it's Lisa. I got to take my mom and dad to see Neil Diamond tonight, so I should be home around 11.
You almost need to put a muzzle on them, don't you? They can't keep their big mouths shut. The younger they are, the more they talk. But
Chewing fresh, fresh.
As we continue driving long hours and many miles, the ambulance itself is proving to be an object lesson in secondhand consuming.
Dude, yeah, I saw a lot of that on the ground.
This 25-year-old vehicle, while a great bargain, requires constant care and maintenance. Our road trip is turning out to be not only a thrift safari, but a tour of every garage between New York and Texas.
So you realize your master cylinder is leaking.
With each day, new problems keep occurring. A windshield wiper fell off during a torrential downpour. Another day, it was so hot the passenger side rearview mirror melted off. Plus, the ambulance has an insatiable appetite for gas, averaging about 10 miles per gallon. We're spending so much money repairing and refueling the ambulance that we're running dangerously low on cash. Then came the final blow. I was driving around 70 miles per hour just outside of Dallas when the right front tire exploded.
We are the rubberneck, dude. We are the rubberneck.
It was impossible for us to change a tire on a 3-ton ambulance by ourselves. This required professional help at an unexpectedly high cost.
Okay.
We were officially out of money. We knew what we needed to do. Our friends at the Aurora Picture Show, a micro cinema in Houston, Texas, let us use their parking lot to set up shop. We priced all the merchandise we'd accumulated along the way and put it out for sale. We asked shoppers to get in the cab of the ambulance and discuss their purchases.
My name's Krista Forster, and I bought this Lane Bryant orange raincoat.
My name's Chris, and I purchased this fine collection of ribbons from Camp Scuffy.
We bought this canister of 8mm film, and we have no idea what's on it.
Well, I've been trying to start a band, and
I have a guitar, but it doesn't have any strings on it, and this one has some strings, so.
My name is Mario Piña. I don't know, I just like this.
What exactly is that?
I don't know.
I bought this wonderful transitional analysis book, I'm Okay, You're Okay. It is a classic in the field. I'm a therapist.
Los compré para hablar con mi niño, para hablar con él en la casa.
My name is Ashley Freyer. I bought the kinky cuffs.
Sales were brisk, but it wasn't until one final transaction that we knew we'd be able to pay for gas to continue our travels.
I'm the proud owner of the Wobble Light. I paid $150.
Do you have a place for it?
Yeah, I'm going to build a patio, and I'm going to have it be a focal point of the patio.
Before handing it off, John and I added our names to the Wobble Light.
This is so exciting. I can get y'all signatures.
As we continue to drive across the country, we're considering selling one final item. Want to buy an ambulance?
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. One more night.
One more thing. John and I need your help. Send an email to shs@pbs.org and you'll receive a questionnaire within seconds. Your answers will determine our fate. Want to see more episodes of this show? Send us an email now. Secondhand Stories is made possible by contributions to your PBS stations from viewers like you. Thank you.